What's going on, Libra? Welcome to your Sagittarius Full Moon reading. We are going to dive right in. The energies feel great, quite expansive. So let's see where this takes us, okay? The theme that came up while I was meditating on this energy was Resplendent Surrender, and like really the richness of the things that we are giving into and releasing within ourselves in general. So let's start. So I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Librans for this Sagittarius full moon? Sweet soul rising. Oh, dang. That's lovely. I like that. Sweet soul rising. I'm seeing, you might have fire somewhere in your chart. I'm seeing the way that fire, like campfires crackle and pop, and then those like ashes and embers that rise up. And I just saw that with Sweet Soul Rising. Like there's these sparks within you, sparks flying, could be relationship energy, could be just like creative sparks, like things that are firing up within you. Things that are firing up within you. Beauty and soft. Oh, I like this. I'm seeing a stream, the soft power of water, the soft power of a stream. I'm going to read soft to you. I feel like we need more of that kind of energy. A sanctuary bathed in soft light, your heart is receptive, inviting, and gentle. It brings strength to the weary, comfort to the lonely, and healing to the wounded. It is a magnet for all that is needed for you, your beloveds, your world. Don't imagine you must always be the fighter, going against the part of your nature that longs for harmony and peace. This is your time to be soft, to surrender. I love that. To let the subtle waves of the heart invite love in and to receive. In doing so, you will give so much. This oracle brings you a message of peace. Surrender now. Be soft. Even just for this moment of quiet reflection, you have perhaps been working too hard at growing and living. Take some moments to replenish and allow the divine to help you, dear one. Be soft so you are receptive to the divine. It is when we let go that we truly perceive the obstacles that lie between us and oneness with the divine lover. Let go and perceive that the divine lover is already awakening within your heart. And this is on page 111, by the way. Bloop. Right there. So, I know that may have meaning for some folks. But this real soft power, and I know fire is more of a hard-edged power, but I feel like there's something about that, the soft power of ashes and embers, the soft power of of embers too. And I'm just seeing the blue-white, well, blue more so if you're cooking with propane or have a gas fireplace. But I'm blue, but also blue flame. That's just been I don't understand where I'm getting the images for it or the thoughts about it 333 on the time, but it's been coming up so much in meditations and just thoughts that I've been having. It's kind of bonkers to me, but super cool. But anyways, so when I think of flame, I'm like, oh yeah, blue flame. It's just like associated now. But I think that this is like the soft, like that, the embers. What I was seeing was the pop and crackle of the sparks. But then I was also seeing this, like the way that the heat on embers almost has like a wave pattern to it. If you watch inside of fire, it's like it just has this sort of wave pattern as the heat goes and runs through and rushes through each piece of the wood there. Oh, so good. Libra, what the hell is going on? I'm kidding. I'm actually really excited for your reading. Let's see where this goes. Spirit, what messages do you have for Libra, please, for this Sagittarius full moon? It's almost like an expansion of your quiet power. Yeah, there's Queen of Wands. That's like, this is like the crackle, right? The quiet power of embers. Ashes and embers. I don't know. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Librans? Ooh, this is what we're embracing is the magician energy. Hell yes, Libra. Sorry, it's the Gemini in my own chart. When I see specific cards, I'm like, ooh, that's like beautiful energy here. Like impassioned manifesting and just clarity of what you want. Clarity of what you want. And we also have the Page of Wands. Lots of fire here. We're releasing, I think, we're releasing the Page of Wands. And I don't think that's a person necessarily. It could be, for some people, you could be letting go of a fire sign. But I'm getting this as more aspects of the fire that you have within you. Yes, the Ten of Wands came out. Okay, that was loud and dramatic, but I'm going to pull another one. And Death. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad card. It just makes me giggle a little bit. Let me do this so you can see. There we go. And let me grab some water as well. But I get this energy of definite release this particular full moon. Sorry. Feeling a little parched. I think you're in a really good place right now. You're manifesting, but it's like you're manifesting, you're firing on all cylinders. But I think there's a higher element to implement into your practice right now, Libra. There's a higher element to implement. And I think this Page of Wands is indicative of or pointing towards an aspect of your fire that you need to release. And that is maybe this like sharp, impulsive part that isn't like, it's not that it's not considering things all the way through. But I feel like there's an aspect of maybe not integrating this higher self into things. It's almost like I'm feeling this fear of the magician, of your inner magician, of your power. And how the light gets in is this Ten of Wands and the Death card. The Ten of Wands and the Death card, right? So it's like this rebirth that you're going through, this rebirth, but then also this like release. Like this is like the moving on from that Wands energy. There's so much fire here. If you did not have fire somewhere in your chart, I would be shocked. Or your air is in a fire element in terms of a house. That is the case with my chart, right? So if that's the case, hey-oh, we're friends. But this is, I mean, we're friends anyway, but this is, I think this energy here is about, knowing when to let go so that something new can come in. Knowing when to let go, because this is almost like a magician energy, right? It's like you're letting go of this almost like an old way of life. Like this old way of life, and this is the magician energy that you're integrating, right? Like I almost get this as being like part of what's inside of you, and you're realizing this and alchemizing that power as opposed to fearing it. And that's why you need to embrace it, is because there's been a little bit of fear of it, I think, based on the way this is showing up. So it's almost like, I think that the release is like the fire that takes up the space that the magician should be occupying. Fire that takes up the space the magician should be occupying. Whoa. Queen of Wands, King of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Five of Wands, King of Cups, one more Ten of Wands. Yeah, that's really, I think that there's like, you're at a place of, you're well established in what you're doing. You're also understanding why you're doing what you're doing, right? You get that. But there's a part of this like head meets heart, like truth meets, it's like you're kind of like there's parts of you that are really in conflict with one another. Like your truth is conflicting with your emotions. Your emotions are conflicting with logic. Your logic is conflicting with a whole bunch of other things, right? And it's like this could also be going against the grain of training, right? Like what you've been taught about your truth is now not in the same harmony with your heart that it might have been at one point. The King of Cups is a very sensitive energy. It's a heart-centered energy and heart-shaped. Oh my goodness. It's an energy of the heart space, and I think that this is about releasing. The Ten of Wands here feels like release, but it also feels like this is where it's like a way of life, though, right? Like it was a way of being, where the truth was like your truth was more important to articulate than your emotions, perhaps because you were in competitive environments that where people didn't listen to you, or you were, your truth mattered more because your emotions were the lesser of two evils to others. Like, that's kind of awful energy to be in. So if you were, I'm sorry. But I know what it's like to shrink yourself, right? To hide yourself because you don't want to be in this conflict energy. So you just make the burden a way of life. And maybe these are emotions that you're carrying. It's like these patterns, but I feel like there's this sense of frustration, and you're moving past the frustration. And I think it becomes very clear that you were manifesting from a great place. Like, you're creating from this inspired place, Libra, but this magician energy was missing. Like, there was this magician energy that was lacking, and the magician is Mercury energy, but it's also a communicative energy. So it's like, how are you communicating with your higher self and source, and how is spirit in what you were doing? Yeah, that's like, it's almost like it's like the opposite of giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. It's like the opposite of the benefit of the doubt. Some imposter syndrome. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve what spirit is saying through you or to you. Because like the magician also strikes me as like potentially, like in this particular iteration, like embracing psychic gifts, embracing gifts that you have, spiritual gifts. Nine of Wands, and then we also have the Six of Cups and the Ten of Swords. Oh my goodness. So that's like, again, release, right? There's a definite message here about carrying burdens that were never yours to carry. And I feel like it might have to do with the past a little bit. I'm just going to put it straight up and out there. Ten of Wands, you do put this down and walk away from it. This is like the end of that way of life, right? We're embracing the ending of that. And I think you're embracing some healthy skepticism, but I think that there's a line between skepticism and imposter syndrome, and believing like you have to accept scraps, right? Because the universe doesn't deal in scraps. We do, right? That's a human, that's a people construct. That's something we've created as a way to denote importance or not importance in special relationships, like as A Course in Miracles talks about them, right? So that's where we get into that energy. Now the release here, the surrendering energy, is the Page of Wands and the Hermit. I think that this is also surrendering to the idea of being a student of your work and becoming the teacher of it, right? Surrendering the idea of being this like forever student, and just stepping into owning what you know and to owning your truth. Spirit, what messages do you have for Libra for this Sagittarius full moon? Okay, so we have the Hermit. We also have the Page of Wands. Yeah, that's exactly. I feel like this is like confirmation big time. Yeah, it's like student and teacher. Like it's like this you're going from the student to being the teacher of something maybe. But it's like owning. It's not just that simplicity or oversimplification. It's like you're really understanding. You're understanding yourself and where you stand. And so then the Seven of Wands, there's some conflict, and it's almost like you have an adversarial relationship to the idea of being anything other than this sort of page energy, because it's like if you're in the page energy, then you never really have to look like a fool. You don't have to put yourself on the line, really. You can just be always learning, and we are always learning. But there's going to be times where you're called to something more and something greater than what you've been in. And then this Knight of Cups energy is, to me, a little bit, this is like starting, I mean, knights tend to be messengers, so it could be someone coming in to help you with this journey that is a water sign. But more than that, I feel like this is you embarking on the journey to really let this go. Like the Knight of Cups is here sort of beginning this sort of emotional journey, or journey into the emotions, into the emotional world, and really starting to just let go and step into this integrated magician energy, right? And it's almost like, I feel like that would be the coolest thing, like to be in the magician energy, but then to rise like as the death card. Hell yes. It's not a scary card. I love that. It's like, I've said it before, it's one of my favorite cards in the deck. But the Knight of Cups here is like this emotional sensitivity, this like it's like this sense of self, not just a sensitivity. Ugh, my words are failing me. Damn you, Mercury retrograde, your last day. I'm kidding. But no, I think that this the Ten of Wands and the Death card is like, I'm almost seeing like, so on when I was on Manitoulin Island with my family at one point, we they have camp up there, and so we went up there and all this, we went up with like all the, well, not all, a good chunk of family. And my uncle and I, we were driving around, and it was a really quiet morning, but it was a cool summer. It was a very cool summer. And one of the things that they had said about the island is that the loons, if they call specifically in the morning, like the earlier they call, there's something about the way that they called in the morning as well. That would tell you how the summer was coming to an end. And it was literally like the first weekend in August. So it was like, oh, right. But it, obviously, like, the seasons change, right? But it was just the way that happened. And I almost feel like it's a very Canadian metaphor, but it's like, this is like that loon, like the season change, right? That's what this card is relative to the Death card, right? It's like, that's the loon call signifying the change of the season, like heralding that forward. And that's almost like the message of the seasons changing. I don't think it's the wheel turning necessarily. I mean, it might be if the wheel shows up. But yeah, Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. And that's like this grounded season change. Grounded season change? I don't know. It's almost like a whole new world opens up to you, right? You're in this Knight of Cups. You're in this emotional world. You're in this separate world. And then it's like this whole world gets unlocked to you and is beginning to be offered to you once you make this step and transition out of this way of life that just it's like sucks the life out of you. Abraham Hicks has friends, Alan Cohen, and so Alan has this book called Why Your Life Sucks and What You Can Do About It. And it has like this beautifully intricate straw on the front. And I just think about that, like, I've thought about, just as a joke to myself, I mean, and I've done this playfully with other friends, but like, I'll give them a straw and be like, here, so you can suck the fun out of this idea for me. And like, it's like a gentle calling in. It's not meant to be acerbic or anything like that. It's just, they get it, and we exchange, our humor's funny like that. But it's that idea where it's like, spirit is handing you this, like, it's like you're putting down the straw. You're putting down the straws that you would use to really drain you. And this is like a whole new way of life that you're entering into at a much steadier pace that's more stable. I feel like it's so much more secure for you. It's a much more secure energy. And it could just be that you're more secure in yourself. Like, this isn't an externally facing energy. Like, you're showing up as the Death card here, Libra. Like, that's not, that is like good with you. Like, the log doesn't ask the forest if it's okay for it to decompose. It knows what it's here to do. So, High Priestess. It knows what it's here to do. I get the impression there might be a message in here for you, Libra. Just putting it out there. Yeah. Knows what you're here to do. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. Lots of grounded energy. Grounded energy is a beautiful place to be with the Death card, because, again, to me, it's just like the richness of a season unfolding, specifically October's, right? Oh, so good. I do enjoy summer, but October and winter, like up to Christmas, and then, but it's just like that, it's like the season shift. I don't know how to word it. It's like excitement about what's new and what's coming. But that does not strike me as very excited energy. I see. Okay. This is making sense now. Thank you so much, Spirit. I think this is like reluctance, like a little bit of reluctance, but you need to know that there's like, you might be really protective of your heart. You might be really protective of your heart, or opportunities that come your way that feel really good. You might. Because I get the impression that you've had this. I'm hearing this same song and dance. Like this could have been something that you were in this Queen of Pentacles before, and something might have happened, Libra, where it put you in this Four of Pentacles because and now no one can make us feel a specific way. We kind of have to co-sign in that as well. But I think that this Four of Pentacles is an energy of hanging on really tight because there's something about your heart space that doesn't feel the most secure right now. But I think the Ace of Cups is showing up here because it's a call to release. And it's to remember this softness, right? It's to remember the softness, and even hot embers at the base of a fire. Let's go back to that metaphor. Hot embers at the base of a fire, right? I almost liken it to this here, like the way that the light can just like it ripples across the embers. It ripples across the bottom. It too is power. It's the soft side of fire. It's the softness of fire. And I feel like that's what you're tapping back into. That's what you're tapping. That's an aspect of yourself that you're tapping back into. I'm going to pull from the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley. Spirit, what messages do you have for my wonderful Librans, please? And thank you. I heart you. Forgive was really loud too. There could be just little things that you have to forgive. And forgive doesn't mean forget, nor does it mean let people in who hurt you again, right? Like this isn't a free-for-all. Your heart is way too precious for that. Your heart is way too precious for that, my lovelies. So I'm not advocating that. I think that forgiveness is about making the decision to move forward so that your past doesn't become your future pain. It's a commitment to yourself where you look in the mirror and say, you're worth letting this go. You don't have to let everybody in, right? It doesn't have to work like that. And not everyone's going to understand forgiveness either. 2-2-2-2 on the time. Not everyone's going to understand it, nor are they going to fully get what it does or why you want to do it. But that doesn't mean it's any less important for you if this is something that's speaking to you, right? And so I heart you is, I think that this is about really letting, I'll put this here and I'll pull another one. But I think that this is about letting energy in your heart space flow. And, you know, I heart you is like, to me, it's like expressing outward where you might be tempted to hold on tight because of past disappointments. And yes, life will hurt sometimes. That's kind of part of the deal of being here, right? No one emerges unscathed. It's kind of the crappy part, I know. I get it. I do. The encouraging part to me here is it's like you're making the decision. You might feel reluctant because it feels like a way of doing things, right? A way of being, as it were. Well, this is more a way of doing. 10 of Wands is a very doing energy. But it's like you're doing all of that in the energy of this Death card. You're doing all of that in the energy of this releasing. And it's so nourishing. I feel like it's something nourishing to your soul in a way that a cup or a sword or a wand or a pentacle just can't touch. That's why it's a major arcana card, right? So, and the beauty of the Death card too is that it's like the 10 of Swords, which you have here, and then it's all 4 aces, which are the beginnings. So it's like you get to decide on the beginnings. And it's the integration of, you know, pain that has purpose. Or had purpose, you're giving it meaning. You're giving it meaning. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Librans for the Sagittarius Full Moon? Earlier disappointment. Oh my gosh. As if. Thank you so much, Spirit. That's beautiful. Earlier disappointments were just rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. Yeah. Just rest in that. Rest as easy as you can in that. Because I think ultimately it is, it's going to do your heart some wonders here. this could be a call as well to sit in the energy or work with the energies or things that might come up during the Neptune retrograde. There's Neptune in the background. That's January. Oh my goodness. I keep doing that this month. Like, what is happening? I do not want it to, it's not that hot out yet. But June 28th, Neptune goes retrograde. I did that the other day and someone at work was like, what? Is it what? Okay. So when in doubt, I play it out. Yes. I think that this is like a total surrender to what's happening in front of you without resist the urge to feel like you have to do something about what's happening. Lean into it. Make it easy. Make it easy for yourself. Relax. Practice relaxing, right? Sounds antithetical, kind of is, but if you're rusty on the idea of relaxing, sit somewhere without your phone. Don't have a book with you. Don't have anything with you. Sit and stare at the clouds. Sit and watch a tree blowing in the wind. Watch raindrops fall on your windshield or on just as they hit your window. Listen, close your eyes and just listen to the sound of the raindrops. Practice relaxing. Integrate it into your day and your life more. Those moments where you connect, right? Yeah, you can throw all these Newtonian things out the window and say they're useless, but in fact, my darlings, you are embodied here. You are in a body. And to ignore that, the train says that I'm right. I don't know. Pay attention. No, but we can throw all of these things out the window and say that they're not important, but they are indeed just as important as understanding this other aspect of ourselves, this higher aspect of ourselves, this 5D aspect, right? So I think that's kind of important to focus on too, because I think that the more that we neglect these parts, they throw us into an imbalance, right? And people might say, well, it's obvious that it needs to be in balance. Of course. How are we advocating for that balance, right? So I make time to recharge my battery. The world needs my energetic light. Another call here, another call. Integrate practices of relaxation, and not just the breathing techniques, not just the little things like that, but relaxation where you're not doing anything. You're not doing something. You're giving yourself a break, and an honest to goodness break at that. You're not focused on the worries or anything like that. And you're pulling your mind into the moment. Use mindfulness if you need to, right? It's sort of a gateway to meditation and beyond. But it's just like being in that place and in that energy. So Libra, this is your reading for the Sagittarius full moon. You are stepping into your magician energy, and I'm so excited to see how this is going to play out for you. Yeah. Magician and death together. You're pretty powerful. I hope that you know how powerful you are this full moon. I can feel it from here. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. But you know what the beauty of it is? It's so soft. It's so soft. So, on that note, if this resonated, please like and subscribe, Libra. I'd love to have you on the channel. And if you are joining me from already being on the channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. So thank you for that. There are other ways you can connect with me on the channel, so check those out. But if this is where we part, I hope that first and foremost, you have a great Sagittarius full moon, and that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, it finds you very, very well, my darlings. Have a great day.